All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you're all doing well. And it is that time again, so time to get the show on the road, guys. As always, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where you are around the world. Welcome to another edition of the London session. Once again, looking forward to seeing what we come up with moving forward here today. Been a cracking week, both on and off stream. 4-0 for the week, 3 of those on stream, 1 away from the stream. So we'll see how we can go today. Obviously we'll be taking a look at the gold. I'll also take a look at any other pair as per request, guys. You guys know the drill. YouTube, don't forget, please smash that like button. TikTok, hit that little screen for me. Let's get the masses onto the stream. And also any questions, any charts, anything you'd like me to look at, please feel free to pop that into the chat and I'll get to you guys all shortly. But without further ado, guys, let's have a look at proceedings here today on the gold. First of all, let's look at the news. Let's see if there is anything of high impact that may affect our session here today on gold. All right, so we obviously had some FOMC overnight. Not too sure what came out of that, to be honest. Maybe someone can keep me, can inform me. I'm not too sure. Just having a look here. Yeah, so obviously it's probably their first sitting for quite some time, seeing they were in shutdown over there in the US. But anyway, gold is pretty much where it was yesterday. Nonetheless, moving forward today, nothing scheduled for our stream here. Again, high impact news to come, really high impact news to come. Didn't even realize it was NFP day. It's normally the first week of the month, so not sure, maybe because of the shutdowns. I think all the news is now starting to filter through and they're starting to be released coming out of the US. So definitely something to keep an eye on, guys. Be very careful trading into that. It's obviously 30 minutes into my session. And that is the news for today. And let's get cracking with the gold team and taking a look at the gold starting at that weekly time frame. And what we can see is we have flipped back bearish, bit of a cat and mouse or tug of war type of scenario here on the gold. What tends to happen is, it's not so much happened today though, but what tends to have happened of late is Asian session will tend to push gold to the upside, and then throughout London it will consolidate, perhaps make a bit of a move up or down, and then for NY, basically during the NY session, it gets squashed all the way back down. Excuse this stupid dog barking in the background. So it's tended to have happened quite a lot of late throughout the year, to be honest. Looking onto the daily time frame here. Such a stupid dog, that one. That's not our dog, that's my sister's dog. He's dumb as dog shit, basically. All right, daily. So what we have was the previous daily leaving a long upper wick, closing weak bullish. Current daily has created a bit of an upper wick and has since broken a low. So what that suggests to me is that perhaps we have grabbed some upside liquidity from around that 4100 flat. The issue is, look what we've bounced at, guys. We've bounced at a higher low within a daily time frame. We've literally tapped into it and bounced straight off it. So obviously tapping into target, if that were a minor time frame, that would be a target of mine. So what we're gonna have to look for is what levels we've got within this current pullback, and if there is any sort of clean areas within it for us to look for a potential sell to perhaps take it back down to the low yet again. But weary of the fact that this could be the point where price yet again bounces. If we were to zoom out, as I mentioned yesterday, and if I was to use a trend line, which I do not, we are respecting a trend line to the upside here, so from support. So again, this could be a level that price could potentially bounce off and still head back up towards that 4200 flat level. So we need to be a little bit wary of that. The 4 hour is about to close. It was bullish moments ago, it's flipped back bearish, so no support just yet on the recent move now. Obviously we've got some support just here. Gonna have to really adjust these zones though shortly on the 4 hour, on the 15 minutes, sorry. Structure on the 4 hour has actually flipped back bullish. That to me was the last significant lower high. We have closed above it, therefore as long as we remain above this swing point here, which is lines up that 4,000 region, we are technically bullish in structure here on the 4 hour. So we'll flip the structure on the 4 hour. We've got the weekly candle being bearish. We've got the daily counter probabilities to the downside. 4 hour bullish. Now let's look at the M15. And I'm definitely going to adjust this zone. I'm going to incorporate that wick there. And that taps into the current daily candles low. So that's the zone we're going to use. Now onto the 15-minute time frame here, and we are in fact bearish. So therefore the bias is still technically to the downside. Trading perspective, guys, not the long term. I am very bullish. But for trading, for what I do, the way I trade, my bias is technically bearish moving forward here today on the gold. I'm just going to mark in this resistance here. Most recent resistance form within the Asian session range here. So what I'm likely going to be looking for, guys, moving forward here on gold is price to pull back. We are currently just consolidating right in the middle of this range between 4,080 and 4,052 roughly. So I'm going to be patiently awaiting a bit of a pullback towards 4,080 and look for price to reject that level and look out for some sort of price action catalyst from that level for a potential sell. So that would be option 1. Now, once again, guys, always say to you guys, you always gotta ask yourself, whereabouts are we on the chart? And irrespective of the bias, doesn't make much sense, is what I'm trying to say, to look for a sell into the support. So what we could potentially look for is maybe a buy from it. So if we make a clean move down, even if we pop below the Asian range low, we'll need to pop back above it, so long as we have some clean range to play within. So we really need price to cut through the current mess to either make a move up, pop straight back down for nice clean impulse to the downside. That will open up this range again for me to look for more probable entries in the opposite direction now to the upside. It's far off happening, very far off happening, but that is possibly what I'll be looking at for a buy. Other potential buy option, let's just have a look in a 5-minute here. I want to see what that looks like on the 5-minute above the most recent resistance formed on the M15. All right, so you got the resistance a little bit higher up. All right, we may consider it. Reason being is because, again, this is the most recent resistance formed. We have double topped at it. We've tapped into it twice. It is the most recent resistance form within a daily candle. So if we were to continue bearish, then there is not really much of a need for us to pop above it. And if we do so, that is potentially our catalyst to suggest we're going to make a deeper pullback towards that 4,100 flat region yet again. So off the back of that, I would consider some potential buy options above that point there. It would need to be absolutely perfect, seeing it is at the minute quite counter trend. So that is pretty much what I'd be looking at moving forward on the gold, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'd be interested in, to be honest. But anyway, stick around, we'll see what we can come up with. Yesterday we got the trade extremely early into the stream. Nothing, no valid entry just yet. Let's quickly go back to the 4 hour. So it's closing potentially weak bullish. All right, yeah, just consolidating at the minute on the gold. Let's quickly look at GJ. I sent into the members group, extremely bullish here on GJ, but it's at resistance. It's made the move up to the resistance. For me, I would preference buy options. I'll quickly have a look at it until you explain why I'd only consider the buys. Fact is that the weekly, look at that, it's extremely strong bullish candle. Yes, it's at some strong resistance, but you still got time within the weekly for it to continue. You got daily with momentum, higher highs, higher lows. I do believe there is also a lot of it to do with the fundamentals coming out of Japan and their economy, which is basically just, it's shitting bricks at the minute. And they're in dire straits over there in Japan apparently. So hence the reason why there's a lot of strength against the yen at the moment. I think you got UJ also making moves to the upside as well. I'm assuming most of the other yen pairs would be doing likewise. So off the back of that, be a little bit, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people will be trying to sell it based off the level it's at, which I understand, but I would preference not, I wouldn't be looking to buy into it obviously, but I just preference a pullback for a buy personally. Where I would consider sells, I'd want to see a little bit of a structure flip or something in a minor time frame before I trust it. So that this rate won't happen until back below 205.20. So otherwise I'll just be looking for the pullback buy. If recently formed support just here at 205.60, that could be a potential level. Looking on to GU chart again, I just sent into the members group. Same thing on GU, but in the opposite direction. I'm only considering sells if it were me. Reason being is because a lot of strength to the downside within the current weekly candle. Also, the previous daily was extremely strong bearish candle. I do believe there's still margin for it to potentially head back down further as well. 4 hour, you got bearish structure here as well. So it's basically bearish across the board on GU. So if it were me, I'd be looking for pullback sells. Could be a sell option shortly on GU. You've just formed support recently, and this candle could be bearish engulfing that bullish candle support. So that could provide an early sell option on GU. Otherwise, I'd just be looking for a bit of a deeper pullback. So that is a quick wrap up. I will now get to you guys in the chat. How did the 4 hour close? Weak bullish. All right. So bit of a, it's a tricky level. It's a strong level by the looks of things at 4,050. In the meantime, Oliver, good day to you. Barman, yep, appreciate it. Panda, good day. AWS Multimedia, welcome to you. Oliver Grayson, that's a stupid dog that, oh mate, it's dumb as, honestly. Probably eats his own shit, he's that dumb. Absolute, real dumbass. Any little noise he barks. Our dog, she is so quiet, she's such a good girl. Understands everything. Not a pain at all. But my sister's dog is just, oh, it's a real pain, a real pain. JD Beats, man, my plan today is to look for sells, aiming for around 39.70. Yeah, I'm preferring sells as well, to be honest. Sir Joseph, we wait for either side to be swept, then enter potentially. Sketchmas, hello to you. That is the YouTube chat sorted. Let me now have a look at TikTok. 60 plus of you on stream. Welcome to the new followers as well, appreciate it. Let me have a look at you guys in the chat, see if you guys have sent anything into the chat. KT, blessings for your VIP. What's the difference between 30? It's the 130 is the platinum that gets you to private sessions a month as well, just one-on-one sessions. But yeah, the VIP will be ramping up more as of next week, so we'll have a lot more time for it yet again, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to doing an update for the course as well. So Daniel strategy, price action based on a preferred bias, but not always fixated to the bias. I'm fluid within the market, so yeah, but it's all basically price action at certain levels. Yeah, we've been absolutely killing it of late. So the stream record is over 80%. That's with 135 wins and 33 losses, I think it is. So who's counting, hey? Heavy Metal Bulldogs. Yeah, hopefully caught that update on GU. How did the candle close? Still open, sorry, so it's not closed yet. Yeah, I prefer sells on GU. Lucky I didn't have a good day today. Hopefully we get some good trades tonight. Not good, mate. Hope all is well. But nonetheless, so we are here. We'll see what's going on. See if we can come up with anything. At the moment, there's nothing. It's shit house. But who knows? Peter Gallo, I'm seeing a sell. Yeah, fair enough. Kenny blessings. Yep, so answer that for you. Upper user trend continuation definitely on yen pairs. It's going for those June, July 2024 highs. It really looks like it is, to be honest, and I think it will sweep that. I think UJ is going to absolutely continue to to pump to the upside personally. So therefore, most of the other yen pairs are likely continue bullish as well. So I'm thinking it'd be quite a lot of yen weakness due to their financial situation over there. The economy, it's really up shits, as is most Western economies, but still theirs is pretty much leading in the pack from all reports. But Davs, long or short, at the minute, nothing. But I'm looking for potential sells upon the pullback at the resistance. Yeah, positions. Should I fix or wait till TP? You have to decide, my friend. You have to decide on that. You're well in profit, so don't give it back. I mean, I'd be trying my stop to this swing point for me. Yep, that's how I do it. But I would probably secure the whole thing by now. Again, I'm a different trader, I'm a scalper. So some of my runners go for over 200 pips, some go for over 100, some go for 20-30 pips. So just all depends. T, sell baby, we're dropping. KD blessings. Chat just moved. You have Zoom calls during MY in London for London's this one. NY not into the session itself because it's just too late for me. Pre MY. So it's usually like after I have dinner. So about maybe an hour or so after the stream. But it's still volume around that time of day. But yeah, that will be getting more into it again. I had a lean patch and I explained to my team why, and I'm happy they were all understanding of my situation, but I'm got more time as of next week again. Apple users smashing some Greek yogurt with protein powder and frozen raspberries tastes like taking profits. That's a great combination, mate. Chuck in some oats. That's what I do with my breakfast. Some chia seeds sometimes, Manuka honey, almonds, just a few unsalted. Overnight, wow, that's cracking breakfast. Can't skip the eggs though, gotta have eggs as well. 5 or 6, 1 whole and 5 whites usually, or 6 whites. With cottage cheese, Tabasco sauce, bit of avocado. That's my breakfast pretty much every day of the week. Keeping carbs limited before 12, fair enough. So I'm more limited in the evening, but I do have veggies that makes up for, you know, the carbs of the evening, I suppose. Jordy, good morning to you. Morning, bro. Usually what time do you come live? About 10 minutes prior to the turn of the last hour, whatever time that is where you are. Jordy, my real name? A.C.T. No, it's not. It's Justin. Lawsy, good day to you. Hope you're well. Happy Thursday to you. Trade Delicious. Almost the end of the week. Yep. Kenny Kane, good morning to you. Welcome, one and all. Appreciate the support. Been getting some really nice messages as well from some of you guys, and I do appreciate it. My members have not initiated a Zoom call, so let me quickly do that. Liking this track. This is going to go in the background of some of the YouTube, the TikTok reels. Got a few fragrance reviews ready to be uploaded shortly. Looking forward to that. Got my hands on another one today. Jean-Paul Lamel Elixir Absolute. Nice strong fragrance. To be honest, I'm not a fan of the original. The original just it's old. I mean, it's a classic. It's old though. That's the thing. But this is cracking. This stuff is really, it's fire. It's really good. Nice strong fragrance. A bit of plum note at the beginning. Aromatic, woody, like the original. A bit of a soft touch of lavender at the end. So I actually think it's so much better than the original, as it should be. Expecting the parfum as well in the mail soon. Gironi? No, Justin, not Aston. Sorry, you'll call me Jason soon enough, because everyone calls me Jason after a while. You get Jason, Justin. I had a mate called Jason. They used to call him Justin, and they used to call me Jason. Trading games, hello to you. Zed, how much money do you think I should put in my first trade? How much you can afford to and willing to risk? And your first trade is if it's your first ever trade, it should be a certain percent of your account. So I would not risk more than 1 or 2% max. Honey, g'day to you. Welcome. Franco, good morning to you, brother. Still haven't sent that link, have I? Sorry, guys. My members put up with me. I appreciate it. Candy can if I try any of the Gucci fragrances, not for a long time to be honest, but I will eventually. I blind buy, to be honest. I just blind buy, and I mean, I don't know, generally I do know quite a few of the fragrances I buy, but a lot of them lately I'm just blind buying. Morning, Jason. Kylie, welcome. But yeah, a lot of it, like I said, a lot of them I just blind buy. Well, I like to try something different. My favorite at the minute is Goldfield and Banks Ginger. What's the name of it again? Ginger something. I can't even remember the full name of it. That, and favorite designer fragrance at the moment is Boss Absolute, bottled Absolute. That is absolute quality, that stuff. Friends, thank you for sharing live. Have I taken a trade yet since came live? If not, are you potentially going to take one, but not just yet? No, I've not taken one. I just came live, what, 20 minutes ago. Honey, can we see 4,000 today? Look, I'd love for it to come back down to 4,000. I want gold to tank. I mentioned it many times. I do believe it's at some very solid support though, that 4,050 level. It is also a previous level of support in a 4 hour. We have once again respected it just here. It's also a previous resistance here to the left. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a tussle. I think it's going to remain above it. But look, no one knows. That's the fact. No one knows. But if I was a betting man, I just get the feeling gold's potentially found a floor at that 4K level. And looking at the daily to me is forming a steady series of higher lows. Yeah. So until that breaks, yeah, I do believe this level is a strong level. It's tapped into the daily support at 4,050 as well and bounced off it. So look, if you had to ask me to choose, will we be above or below 4,000 by the end of today? I would say above. And we're currently well above it, so probably isn't give you all that much, but yeah, that's my opinion. Does VIP include? VIP includes the course, which again is over 140 pages. That will be getting an update. Includes video content, all the other pre-recorded content, educational content. There is a lot more than just the course. Gets you access to all the members only calls. Monday is education day, education session day, which for the most part there's not many questions or not anyone really on the charts. We just look at the charts and see if anything's, you know, valid. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are just members calls at some point after the stream. For it just depends again how many are on call, anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depends on the charts. Thursdays either a live update or a recorded update of proceedings after the stream. And Friday's still a little bit in the air, to be honest. Friday's accountability, but no one really joins it, to be honest. So I don't bother with the accountability that much anymore. And every second Sunday is for a sim session. And what we do sometimes during our live members only calls, sometime during the week, sometimes we will hit the simulator. As you guys already know, Forextester is the one that I am affiliated with, and that's for good reason, because it is by far and away, when it loads, the best backtesting software out there. Come back to that. Honey, thank you so much for the sticker, appreciate it. It does not include signals, I'll just tell you all that much now. It does include trade ideas, where I do call, if I see a trade, if I'm taking a trade away from the stream, I let everyone know. The one from Tuesday, taken away from stream, was called in the members group. So yeah, but I don't sit on the charts hunting trades. It's not me. It's not what I do. You make good profit putting in $100. Just depends what his situation he's talking about. Talking about gold. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I think gold wants to fall, but it is manipulated in either direction, to be honest. I think the big bullion banks are trying to squash it down, and that is during the COMEX open. So that is what, 20 minutes into New York session. I think so. Yep. M hold has me stressing all night. Adrian G, thank you. All good. And yes, so baby buys has to be at support to buy it or above the resistance. We're just in consolidation at the minute, so there's nothing going on, to be honest. Likely hit 4,030. You think 4,030? I think it's got a lot of support at 4,050, 4,040 up to 53 before considering 30. How do you join Discord? There's a link under my profile, on my profile page, under the profile picture. The WAP link. The WAP link's got all the links to all the services, basically. There's strong support for it, 44,070, honey. Yeah, it's this whole area. It's a really strong level. It is previous resistance on the daily. It's 4 hour support as well, just here. But we are just consolidating at the minute, so there is really not much I can do about it, in all honesty. Just have to chill for the time being. I don't know how much to join. The BIP, it's 30 a month. Brian, are you trading NY news? No, I do not. It's way too late for me, and it's way too risky as well. Been there, done that. Loan accounts. Not doing it again. AWS Multimedia, I see a head and shoulder pattern on the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. Let me look at that. Yeah. I kind of get the picture what you mean, but I'm still not quite, to be honest. Everyone sees it differently. Yeah, either way, no real opinion of it, to be honest. Smith's key. Justin, have you ever heard that you look like Punchman? No idea what Punchman is, but thank you anyway. Mr. Phil, good morning to you. Hope you're well. Honey, under this, it collapses 4,069. It's just dropped at what, 40 pips or something in moments, so we'll see. Silent effects, do you know, Donvo? Yes, well, not personally, but yes, I do know. 4,032, honey. Yeah, I still think this 40 region up to 50, 52 is strong. But I mean, it could. Again, I would love for it to drop, but yeah, we'll see. Lucky engulfing candle, irrespective of the engulfing candle, gotta look at the level it's at. It's in consolidation. I mean, look, that was engulfing candle. Hadn't cleared consolidation. Look what happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's just because you got an engulfing candle doesn't mean you got an entry. Honey manipulates a lot before it'll collapse. Gold, it does play tricks on people. Definitely does. Chanel Silk, how much do you make today? Did you make nothing yet? I've not taken a trade today. Honey nice, going to 4,000 today. I would love for it to drop below that, in all honesty. It's getting so hard to find gold and silver here in Oz. Premiums have really gone up. So looking at on silver at the moment, roughly 10%. Lucky, 100%. What are you looking for now for an entry? Basically, price to either come back down to support and give me some sort of price action catalyst, or resistance and give me some sort of price action catalyst, whether it be above it or below it. Same with the support, to be honest. There is potential for an entry below 4,040. There is enough margin, but it will just all depend, because I wouldn't want to take the sell if it comes from the current level without some sort of pause. So it has to obviously pop down, trigger in some buyers, close back a bullish candle, wipe the buyers out, close below, and that's when I would consider a sell blowout point there. At the minute, I just need to wait, because there is sweet FA when it comes to clear direction or price action. Honey? Yeah, I knew you were talking about gold. YouTube as well, guys. Good, hit that like button. I've been selling it since yesterday. Oh, nice one. Again, a common occurrence throughout this year is not so much today, but for the most part, the Asian sessions, the eastern side of the globe tend to buy up gold. London, again, it's a bit, tends to consolidate, occasionally make a move up or down. And NY, they just squash it all the way back down for the most part, or try their best to anyway. And again, I think it's due to price manipulation from the big bullion banks. There is some contract expiries in 7 or 8 days from now, I think, options contracts. And upon the expiry of the options, people in charge of the account, whether it be hedge funds or whoever it is, whatever it is, banks, traders, can demand physical delivery of gold or silver. That will put enormous pressure on the stockpile of physical gold and silver coming out of the comics. Bitcoin up to today? So took a bit of a bounce. Yeah, still quite bearish though. How far has it dropped from its all-time high? It's nearly 30%. Wow. Alright, so bear market territory by the looks of it. I mean, on equities, anything more than like 20%, they consider it to be a proper bear market. Bitcoin, I know when it does actually move into bear market, it is prone to 80% pullbacks. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. Again, I'm not positioned in crypto at the moment. I've sold out every crypto I've got, except for one airdrop. It's just there. Got like thousands of them. They're worth like 1/10 of a cent or something. It will cost more just to sell it. Pay the gas fees from my MetaMask wallet to send it across to an exchange. That's not worth it. $5LXX. There's a lot of US news in more. Yep, there is. Daniel Brown, do you trade full time? Trade the same session each day, so if you consider that to be full time. But if you're asking, do I have other interests in the background which do make me money? Yes, I do. Do I have a business as well? 2 businesses. Trading. And I think why I'm good at it and consistent with it is because I don't need to place a trade to make money for personally. So I can be more patient, and that's what I pride myself on, is my patience and discipline. God, that laptop is full of dust. Successful life. It's consolidating in this area. It is consolidating. Could be because the news about later might not do much until then. Successful life, maybe accumulation of strong distribution, potentially. I think it's become similar to Bitcoin. What, gold? Don't think that's also mate, living dream. Yeah. Yeah. It just depends on the day, to be honest, mate. Living a dream, how I feel. During the week, for the most part, yes. But the other businesses, or business, one main business anyway, consumes a lot of weekend time, which not really living a dream if you could, you know, active work-wise on the weekend. But yeah, it is what it is. Not that bad, I suppose. It's all for a good reason. There are plans for the future. Getting closer to that end goal too, which is good. SB, GJ, you think we're still looking for buyers? A bit hesitant because it is so high right now. GJ, extremely bullish. I'd be looking for pullback buys, to be honest. A lot of it's to do with the fundamentals coming out of Japan as well, and their economy, which is literally up the shits. And at the moment, there's not much they can do to save it. So I think there's a lot of weakness to in the end. So I'd personally just look for buys, but I wait for a pullback buy. Or would not be looking for continuation buys. My bias for today is more bearish, to be honest. Daniel breaking them all. Trying to. SB, a lot of news later. Yep, there is. V33 SA, good morning, Justin. What do you think about US 30? I think it's probably not the best indice to trade at this time of day, but since you asked, extremely bullish. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly will say otherwise. Extremely bearish. Lower high, lower low. Engulfing candle on the weekly. Long liquidity wick to the upside suggests grab upside liquidity, and this candle's done what a lot of candles would do following a closure on the previous candle, like so. Daily has bounced at support though. Has formed support in the previous daily. Has now got a high, low, high, high to that previous daily. The back of that, I think there's a high probability it could continue bullish. Similar to gold, if I'm not allowed to use trend lines, but if you were to use a trend line, what we can see is it's creating a series of higher lows. So again, long as that continues, still quite bullish. Onto the 4 hour, that is definitely bearish in structure. That's where I would mark in some zones. Let's look to the left. Currently at a bit of a resistance. I will do a video on how I mark up my zones and all that too, guys. I have written it down. All right, so that's the highest point of a bullish candle, which is also the highest point of a bullish candle on the 4 hour. So I can adjust that accordingly to the highest point of a bearish candle. And that is that point there. Above it looks quite clean. What I would also be doing is marking, let me zoom in, the support at the Asian range low. And what I'd be looking for on US 30 is price to, I will not be buying it just now because you're a bit too late. If you're not in it, your buy would have had to be upon that confirmation, the bullish engulfing candle. So what I'd be looking for is for price to tap into the zone, trigger in sellers, close above that resistance, trap the sellers, and then it's likely to continue to the upside. Otherwise, I'd just be looking for a pullback buy. Where I would consider selling it, I would want to be below the Asian range low. I'd want price to close below it, retest it, pull away from it, and then you're going to be below this support as well. So that is where I would consider sells. Otherwise, be careful trying to sell it from the current level. If you are wanting to, I'm sure you probably are, at least let it create some minor support and begin to close below the support. Took a sell on gold yesterday similar to that for some profit. Otherwise, I'd just be, again, patiently waiting for the buy upon the pullback, or once it traps the sellers after triggering in sellers at the resistance and starting to close above. So that is my opinion of it. And back to gold and back to consolidation. Nothing at all going on here on gold. Successful life, bear bias, fair enough. Honey, I think we'll see this month 38.89. Yeah, look, I follow a lot of different economists, and a lot of them are, look, they're all the same opinion that gold's going to be definitely worth a lot more moving forward in the future. They've all got the same, you know, thesis when it comes to that. But a few have a different theory that we may come down first before we go back up. Not saying they're not saying it's coming back to 2k or whatever. Some are saying potentially 35, 36, 37. Tell you what, I would be basically selling everything if it drops to that and purchasing, except for my silver. I will not be selling my silver unless the ratio is where it should be, about that 20 to 1, 1 to 1, yeah, 15 to 1, 20 to 1. Just well off that at the moment. So it's a baby. NQ and gold. NQ, well, gold, we're consolidating. Been over gold a million times. NQ, I'll do NASDAQ because NQ, I've got a delayed feed. I don't have TradingView Pro. It'd be the same anyway. It'd be very similar. It is. So after all, it's the same asset. All right. So the weekly's flipped back bullish. Wow. Bounce almost tapped into support. NAS is really pushing to the upside at the moment. It's formed support at support, so it's at some resistance now to the left though. Structurally, it's bearish the way I see it on the daily, but we do have counter probabilities being to the upside. What I would do is mark in the current daily low, seeing you do have a high low, higher high, and you close bullish engulfing basically. if you were to continue bullish, then there's not necessarily much of a need for price to come back down and retest and begin to pop below its own low on the current daily. 4 hour, it has tapped into a resistance, so potential point where it could reject. That's the 4 hour range for now. I mean, that is the most recent, so we'll just use that point there. Structurally, that is also bearish, and what it is doing now is pulling back to the last significant lower high here on the 4 hour. And look how it's sort of running out of steam. That could also be because of lack of liquidity at this time of day on NASDAQ. But it does suggest we are exhausting at last significant lower high, potential rejection point. And the structure is still remaining bearish at this point on the 4 hour. So we've got the weekly, it's flipped back bullish. We've got the daily, counter probabilities to the upside. 4 hour structure is bearish. M15 will be bullish in structure. So the bias is technically bullish. But once again, as I always mentioned, you got to ask yourself, where are we on the chart? We are definitely at a high time frame resistance. So therefore, it would not make much sense for me to buy it into the resistance. I would preference looking for potential sell options. The issue is there really isn't any clean trapping until probably below, just around the Asian range low again. So I'd want price to pop below to support just above the Asian range low. Pull back to retest the support and begin to pull away, and that could be a sell point from below 25,040, with further sell options below the support a little bit lower down, 24,972.50. Otherwise, if it does reject, make a nice clean move down, form support above previous support, then there'd be nothing wrong looking for some buys as well. But I would focus more on the sells based on where price is at. Yeah, that is my personal opinion of NASDAQ NQ. KWS Multimedia, well, you go live on Friday last week. I waited for you, but likely not, mate. I'm very busy on Friday. Even when I'm not as busy of a normal week, I'm still, Friday's a busy day for me. It's just the time. The time isn't convenient. It's not as convenient as what it was when it was our winter here and somewhere over the other side of the world. Swings key, Rastafari reach, Magendra. What about FP? Does dollar gonna get stronger? No idea. I will not trade it. I will not trade it because it doesn't always do what people think will do off the back of the results from the news. So it's just not worth it, trust me. I've blown accounts. I've done it all. I've flipped accounts. I've done all the stupid stuff you can imagine. I would not bother trading the news. Not again. If you're going to trade the news, tuck in whatever you can afford to lose into a side account. That's what I would suggest, and just gamble. Probably the best way to do it. And then you don't give a shit if it's $50, $100, $200, whatever it is. And that's probably the best way to do it. We also sold GJ at 206 sold. All right, interesting. Yeah, I'd be looking for a pullback buy. Honey, is some support 4,039. Yep, there definitely is. Fully aware of that. Successful life breaks 39.80. We'll go down to those levels. It would be very nice. Michael Hughes, g'day to you. Hope you're well. Yeah, tomorrow morning our time. Big news event. Just after midnight. BV36 thinking to wait for direction after the news tonight. Price keeps wiping a lot. Yeah, that could be the best thing to do because right now there is no direction. It's just consolidating. So to really, for me, there is nothing I can do about the gold until it decides. I need it to make a clean move. I'm not selling it into the support because we're just consolidating. Nor am I going to buy it into the resistance because again, we're just consolidating. So I'm going to allow it to show me which direction it wants to move in and then see if it's going to continue or reject. So for instance, pop up, nice clean move up. Are we going to close above? Or are we going to reject and come back below? And that could be give us a clearer picture as to where we're going to move throughout the day or vice versa to the downside of the support. Comedy post, hey mate, what's the outlook on gold? waiting for it to clear consolidation. SB GJ pulling back. Yep. GJ buys potentially looking good later on. Gendra all good. Had a shit gym session today. I felt flat as a tack. Didn't have good sleep. Still pushed through though, so anything's better than nothing. I still did everything I wanted to do. It's what helps to definitely get you where you want to be, and puts you kind of above the rest when you push through those sessions where you just really can't be asked. SB, what another SB? What you training? Gold, spot gold, XAUUSD. Good name. Oh, what? Hope we have a decent summer here. Spring was shit house here in Melbourne. I think it's the coolest spring I've remembered for quite some time. Lucky weird formation, yeah, it's just consolidating at the moment. Running out of candles, guys. We've got, 3 candles max left for the session. Find something. Remember, I don't go hunting. I let my plan present. That's fantastic. We'll see. We've got a minute and a bit left on this candle. Who knows? We could be at a level where we could potentially get involved at the session open. So we'll wait and see. SB, predominantly the 15, but I do look at multiple time frames. Do you respect that support in the end? So it would not have been a sell confirmation. AU, all the majors in a pretty strong downtrend at the moment. Let's look at EJ. EJ also following suit along with the other yen pairs to the upside. 740. There's this thing, I've not looked at it for a while. Just consolidating on the higher time frame. Excuse me. All right, starting to make a bit of a move here on gold. Will we now be opening this range up a little bit? Let's wait and see. Could be potential option for London Open. We'll have to wait and see how this candle forms, and we'll come up maybe with a game plan closer to the closure of this candle for session open, if I do see fit for a potential valid entry. One thing is, it doesn't have an up wick. You guys know how I feel about that. There's a good chance it will create an up wick. The only thing is, what point is it going to actually start to flip? So extremely risky entry could be just a buy, sorry, market order buys, taps into the support. So for Abdi, yes, gold is melting at the moment. Bouncing just now. Last thing we want this candle to do is just flip and start pop back up into the middle of consolidation. I would love for it to pop back down a little bit lower. Now, not so concerned by the fact that hasn't actually done so though, because we are at a 4-hour level as is, so don't have to be worried about that. The fact that we could pull down further. Look at it now, flipping. Wow. Such an impulsive entry, but would have worked. So let's see how this candle closes. Now, what the plan for me would be, first of all, this closes back bullish like so. Within it, what I want to see, so it's for education again, guys, this candle closed like so, followed by potentially this little minor resistance on the following candle, for it to only then be engulfed last 5 minutes into London Open. What that will do is leave, well, the 15 will close looking like so. Within it, we've got a minor resistance on that 5-minute candle. We've engulfed it as well. So that in itself is a price action catalyst. So therefore, seeing reform support, and it's also at a 4-hour level. So long as the London Open candle creates a decent lower wick, begins to flip and break above the catalyst candle high, we believe that could be enough for a potential buy back up towards the resistance again. So that is something I could potentially keep an eye on moving forward for London Open. I still need to wait for the confirmations. Sean Brune, bye now. Ultra Rogue, is gold going to go up today? Remains to be seen. Remains to be seen, my friend. Daily kind of probabilities are bearish, but it's tapped into a support and a potential level it could bounce off. Sean Brune. Now, Good entry off 1 hour injection. Block needs liquidity sweat. Peter, g'day to you. Latest stream ready. Took 73 profits in gold. Maybe if something comes up, we'll go again. Interesting. Nice one. I'm waiting for something to come up. Potentially could have something for London Open. Alright, so this closed bearish. That's all good. Still options. If this closes, next potential option would be this forming on this current candle, 5 minute, followed by a really weak closure on the next one. Still going to close the M15 bullish, and you got resistance within it on the 5, and as price begins to break the resistance on the new candle, again, that's your potential entry point. JD Beatsman, what are the chances of gold going back up to our support, looking for sell entries to the resistance? Yeah, no, there's a chance. It's always a chance, but as long as it remains above 4,050, I think it's a good chance that it's going to pop back up to that point. But whether it happens on stream or not, you know, who knows? I don't think that would happen, but it could. Now, the other option is just based off your price action at London Open. If we close back weak here, yeah, and what it suggests to me is we grab downside liquidity. And if the new candle opens up for a bit of a low wick and not creating the upper wick and begins to break above the high, that could be a potential impulse entry. On the fact that we have tapped into a level of support in the 4 hour, is a strong level. We've tapped into the 15-minute level as well. We could use the fib again to determine if it's a weak or a strong closure. So if it closes pretty much where it's at, bottom point 382 is the preference. That would suggest to me it's a weak bearish closure, and or even bullish. Close back bullish, it's not that bad situation, or not that bad a confirmation in this situation. Again, so that suggests that we could have grabbed downside liquidity, leaving a long low wick, but we just need the new candle, create a decent low wick, and then begin to flip, and could look for an impulse entry as it breaks. That's something to keep an eye on, guys. So the entry, if this is the highest point, would come just above that level. So you'd be looking a couple pips above again. Gold these days, I'm leaving it for about 2.5 to 3 pips. So the highest point on my broker's chart is 4,061.81. So I'd be looking about 4,062.10 as a potential entry point, but not sending anything until we have the right, tick all the boxes off to do so, and need to wait for session open. JD Beatsman had a sell all at 4,080, but just missed it. But never mind, we go again. That's it, mate. You just reassess, and we'll see. We could have an option for London Open and go anyway, guys. The 5 minute could be potentially do what I mentioned before as well. Closing strong bullish here. See how the next 5 minute candle closes. Closes weak bearish should be another strong confluence. So just under 5 minutes, guys, 4.5 minutes, and we may have a potential option for London Open. See if we can keep, we get the valid entry, and let's see if we do, if we can keep the win streak going. In the meantime, guys, YouTube, if you could, don't forget, smash that like button, guys. Help me out. Let's get those likes up, if you could. I'm not even sure what the like count is, to be honest. But anyway, it'd be great if you could get the lights up, lights up. So we're looking at potential buys for session open here. Just need to wait just under 3 minutes. We could have the confirmation to do so. Definitely this gold going up or down, have to wait and see, but for me, I'm looking at a potential buy from the current level. Need to wait patiently for this candle to close, session open to obviously open, and may have an option. So as I mentioned, guys, let's keep an eye on this candle. Close this back above this level, which is 0.382 from top to bottom. Then to me, that's a weak enough, or if it's bearish, it's a weak enough bearish closure to suggest grab downside liquidity. If it's bullish, it's the same thing. It suggests we grab downside liquidity, and so long as the new candle opens up, creating a bit of a lower wick, begins to break above the high, that could be enough to suggest we could make another push back towards the resistance back at 4,074. So I am looking for a potential buy in 2 minutes, guys. Honey, I would wait for the confirmation. I would not buy now because we think it's going to happen. I personally would wait. I used to do that and I used to get wrecked. You're going to take it? I am, but I'm waiting for the closure of this candle, waiting for a new candle to do what I want it to do. As soon as I have that confirmation, I will will place a buy stop above the high. So I'll keep you guys as posted as I possibly can. If we reject and close below it, then I may need to wait a little bit longer. Just make sure I've got these levels correct, by the way. What would I aim for? I mean, I'd secure in between, but the target will be the resistance back at this level. Follow my cursor. He wants to rise, but he's playing games. Potentially, he's trying to. So once again, looks like we could have a potentially valid option here, guys, but it will come down. I need a lower wick on the following candle at session open. Is session open? But I don't want to be too quick to jump in. I want the right confirmation. Thing is, being session open, if it breaks, it could just rip, but I still need the low wick. I definitely need the low wick. But the good news is, tick 1, it will be valid by the looks of it. We've got now just 10 seconds to wait for this candle to close. Then I want to see a low wick form. Quickly look at the 5 minute. Nice closure here on the 5 minute as well. That weak bearish closure, as I mentioned earlier on. We've got the nice closure. Oh, wow, it's popped straight up. It's got that lower wick, but it's just pumped. I'm not in, guys. I'm not set the order. It's just that's way too quick. Way too quick for me. It's literally broken the first 3 seconds. Yeah, I need it to come back down. And it's doing it right now. Has to create more of a lower wick. The only thing is now the entry has to be higher up. So what's the highest point in this current candle? 4063 at 26 for 4063 50. Has to create more of a lower wick. Not a wide enough stop loss. 20 pips. It needs more of a lower wick, guys. I'm sorry. For my liking. If you guys trust it, go ahead. But stop loss based on the previous candle is more than 75 pips. Now it's actually closer to 80 pips. 90. It's 90 pips actually. So I need for this candle to play out a little bit longer. I would love for it to pull back once again, flip back bearish, break its own low, because if it does that, seeing we've created the upper wick, it would have absolutely no need for it to break its own high yet again, and it would likely continue bearish. However, if it did flip and break its own higher after breaking its own low again, then I do believe that will be enough to make the move up. So that's when I would trust it, and we're doing that now. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is what I want. This is what I want to see. Perfect. All right. Buy stops. Gonna buy stop the high. Don't want this thing to melt too much because stop loss is going to be the issue again. Wow. Well, I hope I spared you guys a loss, because if you're following along, there was no entry. I didn't take the entry. And that's just patience. Not being stupid, not jumping in prematurely. All right, so I've got to buy stop back above the high, 4063.50. But if it drops too much further, then I will remove the order, because it's just not going to be worth it. Stop loss is going to be huge. Yeah, forget it. It's dropping too far. Stop loss is what now? 90 pips. Yeah, no, I'm gonna remove the order. Yeah, I'm removing it, guys. Too wide of a stop loss. All good, no loss. Had you been listening and following along, you would have been spared a L on the sells, on the buy, sorry. So unfortunately, there's nothing yet again. Just the minute we're coming back down, by the looks of it, towards these lows. Gold playing tricks. But again, experience, time on the charts, rules have protected me from a loss just then. It's not always about taking wins. We've done 4 this week, well, 3 on stream and 1 away from stream, 4-0 for the week. And I could have easily jumped the gun on that one, but again, experience tells me you wait for the perfect point of entry. And to me, that definitely was not the perfect point of entry. It was close, we were getting close, but we need more of a low wick at session open, and it can't break in the first 3 seconds. It's just way too quick for session open. So now we're rejecting. You go, your good thing, drop, melt, completely shit the bed. The set Nordness, it's a sweep, maybe. Declan always ready up, 750 from LA defend. Nice one. What time frame you right now? 15. Declan to send, yeah, all good. Kind of picked up on that little error. So Nordness, it is going down at the moment. I am chilled. Didn't take the entry because it wasn't perfect. Not doing nothing. I was looking for a potential buy, but I didn't have the right formation formation on the London open candle, so nothing. There is no buy stop entry now. I removed it. Again, 15-minute time frame, and no entry, no entry. You guys heard when I removed it. All right, so GJ, that was the concern of mine, seeing it is in a really strong uptrend. Could just pull back to create a higher low and continue bullish. Not saying it'd be an easy point to get an entry though. GU coming up to the resistance, so perfect. GU's now tapped into a level of interest for anyone who is interested in trading GU. To look for a potential price action catalyst from the current level. GU is just complete rank. Forget about it. Won't even piss on it. AU, your duty as a trader, even with your small liquidity, is to buy AU forever. That's what you guys have to do. Need a strong Aussie dollar. For business reasons, for money transfer reasons, for many reasons. Sorry, YouTube, JD Beats man. In terms of long-term investment, do you hold anything or buying shares or not shares? Gold and silver, physical bullion, physical coins, the purest form you can get. That is my belief. I believe in precious metals. You want it? It's yours. It's in a bank. Anything could happen. I mean, how many outages have there been of late when it comes to banks and that Amazon or whatever it is outage, which accounts for some 20% or 25% of the world's internet connection. That's happened a few times. I reckon it's all leading to something. Personally, I do believe. So I prefer to have money in physical gold and silver. You have to have some cash, obviously. I don't like banks. I do not trust the bank. Would not trust them as far as you can throw them. They're not there to protect us. They're not at all. Okay, SS Multimedia. Justin, you are super good. We always follow you. I appreciate it, mate. Again, I just do what works for me, and that's you know, throughout all my experience over that 8+ years now, a lot of time, effort to come to these formulas, these entries, these confirmations, these rules, so on and so forth. But again, they work, so that's why I stick to them. Hassan, shouldn't we have went for a sell instead? 30-minute, got a high wick, and then no, you're at support, so to me there's no sells into the support. Would have preferenced to sell from higher up, but we're in consolidation at that point. It's not always an entry, guys. It's just, well, look, if you've got an entry, a valid entry, don't let me stop you. But everyone trades differently, and you're not always going to have a valid entry on every single candle. Hey man, what time frames would you say are the best for gold? 15, maybe 5, but on straight to 15. You're only live on TikTok? No, YouTube as well. Malik, gold 1 hour chart. Is it bullish or bearish trend, please? 1 hour. Structure itself. So that's the lowest point market got to. That's the swing point there. 2 consecutive counts pulling back up to action. No, it's not. That's the lowest point the market got to. So therefore, I would say this is swing point. It's flip structure is the word I'm looking for at this point here. Bullish, and it's since closed below. It's closed back bearish. It's the highest point. not yet created a low low. It's bearish. Structure's bearish on the 1 hour, the way I see it. And it won't flip back bullish at this rate technically until it closes back above that swing at 4,110. Unless it creates a lower low, and by creating a lower low, it needs to close below actually this wick, this bullish wick, and that will confirm the lower low, and therefore a structural flip will be confirmed on a closure above this swing point. That is to be the case. This now becomes the entry point to the upside, that resistance. Draw it in a little prematurely. So seeing it's at support, strong support, if it bounced off and closed above 4,063.19, that is the point of entry to the upside. Do you use RIMC? No idea what that is. SB. Be no trader. Algos are waiting to buy around 4,013. Possibly, who knows. Just started trading 2 weeks ago. Got my first this week. Got yourself a loyal viewer. Appreciate it, thank you. You're more than welcome. Honey, 5-minute. 5-minute interruption play is presenting. But it's at support, so again, irrespective of the validation on that particular time frame, the level it's at, I can't sell into the support. You got a 15-minute interruption presenting. But again, my concern is that if we actually tap in, then we're respecting this support, we could end up back above the resistance, and that is the point of entry for the buy above the resistance here. Malik, thanks honey, thanks, all good. Made X Zopa, which time frame are you on? 15. Franco, nice rejection, EU and GU. Yep, those levels. Oops. What did I say about GU and EU? They're at, well, GU is at a level of rejection. You know, preference sells. EU, I just said it was consulting. That's all I pretty much said about EU. It's in shit area. Lachlan, thanks for the sticker, mate. Tari, when selling what? Look for re-entry to be valid. There was no entry for there to be re-entry. For there to be a valid sell, I just don't like level it's at. It needs to be below 4,040, basically. Or upon the pullback. That's just what I'm seeing. How you feeling? Yeah, all good, mate. Just, yeah. It's a little personal issue pop up, so I think I'm going to get going, guys. I've got to deal with something quickly. I'm not going to get an entry. I can see it anyway. For me, buys will be above the resistance here. Look for a pullback rejection for potential sells. Maybe wait for it to pop below 4,040. It's making a move to the downside, but it's at support. Just be wary, it's at a strong level. So if you're not in a sell, I would not be chasing the sells at the moment. I'd be patiently waiting another confirmation. Yeah, alright guys. Tomorrow probably won't be on. I've got a lot on every Friday, so we'll see. I'll try again. If I can, I will. I'll try my best. But thank you all for your support throughout the week. Don't be shy to say good day. Always more than welcome to reply to all messages. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Trade safe. Don't do anything stupid. Big day of news ahead. Take care. Cheers. Bye. Bye, guys.